All right, so we have the Heritor HR 9102 automatic diver. And essentially, this watch is indeed homaging, or should I say, some people would say, clomaging the Zodiac Super Seawolf 53, basically to a T, guys. I mean, even down to the handset. A few very subtle differences. I know they don't have the 15 mark and that they do have a color match date wheel, but that was one of the few differences besides, of course, the diameter of the case itself as well. But this really is I'll tell you, a carbon copy of that for a much more affordable price. So if you don't have the deep pockets to afford a Super Seawolf, which is going to cost you anywhere from, I would say, $1,600 to over $2,000, I've seen these at. I've seen very inconsistent prices, but either way, this one is definitely deeply discounted. I was able to pick this one up for these typically sell for right around $240, which I find a bit expensive for this particular watch, and I'll go into the reasons why. So right away, we're struck by the color scheme. This bezel really is almost radioactive in regards to how bright it shines. And if that's not shiny, or should I say bright enough, we do get that mix of orange as well. There is some cost savings with the mineral crystal, and it's unknown to me whether or not this is a mineral or an acrylic. I'm going to guess mineral, and then on the back, mineral as well, guys. So there you go with that. Also, the handset here is very Super Seawolf indeed. You've got the two compartments on your hour hand, block style handset. That orange minute hand there is definitely going to pop. And then, of course, you get some more blocking action here with that second hand with the lollipop as a rectangle as opposed to a circle. So there you go with that. This is an automatic 660-foot diver, just like the Super Seawolf. You will get applied markers here with some luminescence, and I will indeed give you a lume shot right here. Now, I have to admit, I'm a bit disappointed by the dial itself because it does come across as being very flat. And I think they could have resolved this very simply by raising the rehat here, that's chapter ring that you see here, and just kind of just bulking it up a little bit to give it a different dimension, okay? And this way, I think you would have had a more interesting looking dial as opposed to it looking very, very flat as we see it here. Now we do get a screw down crown, and it is powered by the NH35 movement. First position will indeed change the date, and then of course the second position will hack the second hand, and then you can indeed change the time. And when we do change it over, we will see that we are going to change at right around the 11:55 point. So there you go with that. Now this does, you can hear the winding motion here, just like the typical NH35. Press it in and it engages pretty easily. Bezel action sounds good, feels good, but it does have a bit of backplay, more than I prefer to admit. But yeah, you see it does have a lot of backplay there. So not the best bezel. And then we take a look at the side profile here. It's got that vertical brushing. And this is already a thick watch, measuring in at 15 millimeters. So the vertical brushing does not help with the look of this being a thicker watch. Does get a sign crown though, which is nice, and you do get that kind of cogwheel looking design with the crown. We do turn it over and we do see that NH35 movement. At least Heritor does put their logo on the rotor itself. More cost cutting in regards to the clasp. We do have a pressed clasp, and it is a dual push button locking clasp with a fold over clasp, signed by Heritor, which is nice. The bracelet itself is a Jubilee push pins. Totally acceptable at this price point. Actually a pretty decent bracelet. Not a fan though of the articulation in regards to how this wobbles back and forth with regards to how it integrates with the end link. So, not a huge fan of that, but again, I think overall the bracelet is just fine. And the finishing is okay as well. I don't really have too much of an issue, especially at this price point. We're going to take a look at it on my 7-inch wrist here. We do see the 3 micro adjusts, and this is not a diver extension, which, at the end of the day, I have no problem with that. We put it on the wrist here, and you're going to see that this is indeed a big watch. We are looking at right around a 53 millimeter lug to lug, 45 millimeters case diameter, and I believe we're looking at 22 here. 22 millimeter lug width as well. So you're getting an H35 movement. It's going to be a tried and true movement that's going to last you for years, going to give you accurate time. And at the end of the day, when your motor of the vehicle or the watch itself, that is the heartbeat of the watch, and that is the most important part of the watch. So with that being said, I think you're getting a really good deal anywhere from $200 and below. These do retail for about $240, so it's a little bit expensive for my taste there, but if you can find these on sale like I did here, and these are a steal, and I'd buy those all day long. So there's my 2 cents. You can keep the change, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.